Hi all, Al here with more Space Engineers, and today we're going to finish building this. So yeah, last time we were together we took over our base, and I did a little bit of work off camera, did some refining, got some props processed, and now we get to put it all together. So yeah, let's go. Alright, so what we're planning on doing today, and let me show you what we've done. We came through, we have basically gotten stuck on our own build. So we came through, we grinded down everything to the hack position for all of the oxygen generators, the oxygen farms, the solar panels, etc. Now the only thing that we haven't taken complete control of are the doors that are covering the windows inside. Now the reason for that is because we're going to take all of those out, but we're going to let Bob do it for us. Now before we get started, what I did do is we've installed a Bob there. He needs to be welded up, obviously. We put in a couple of conveyor blocks, and we've gone ahead and mounted 4 refineries. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to turn this into our actual base. And, you know, we still have our secondary base over there. But eventually, we're going to convert this thing into a ship. And before we do that, we're going to have to rearrange some parts and make things work a little bit better. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try and keep as many of the components as possible like they are. But we're going to relocate some things. So one of the things that I want to do is we're going to cut the coupling here, probably where this red line is, and it won't let me paint because I haven't taken out all the things that have ownership yet. But yeah, so basically we're going to cut this line here, move this piece back here. We'll mount it here in the aft portion. I'm thinking we will cut the storage area out pretty much in the same location. We'll basically slice it here. And for this, I may just rotate it a little bit. I'm thinking rotate it like 90 degrees or so. So what we'll end up doing is just taking this line out, spin the whole thing 90 degrees clockwise. So that'll be facing aft. That'll be facing forward. And then we'll duplicate that on the other side, I think using some of the stuff that might be down here. Like we may cut this area out entirely so that the ship is basically just one level. We might take the whole thing. I don't know. I haven't decided. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. So yeah, but that's basically what we're looking at doing. This is going to be an ugly ship if we get it in orbit. What I might do is actually just take off all of the supports. Like basically give it enough thrust to keep it up. And then slice all of these off at the support levels here. And just turn it into a station. That way we'll park it in orbit, and then we can use this as a kind of a launch pad into other portions of the galaxy. So those are the ideas. Let me know which one you like. We can even go completely fresh build. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to scavenge a little bit. All right. So all of that said, first things we want to do is we want to get you finished welding up. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use this Bob to assist the other Bob. Because this Bob, we can tell to go after the hostile stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to go... We don't care about using ignore color. Are you really not going to let me turn off ignore? There you go. We want you to grind before welding. We're going to turn you into fly mode. Turn that off. We just want them to grind the enemy blocks Now, we do want him to grind it all the way down. We could do it actually just to the hack. What that would do is it would basically take it down to the position it needs to be to hack it, and then we just go by and fix them all. But I'm thinking I want to get rid of them because we're going to replace the windows with some things that we have in the mod packs here. So now we don't want you picking up stone and gravel in case I happen to be in an area. We do want you to push those immediately. Everything else looks good. Okay. So now, there he goes. All right. So he should be taking all of those doors apart. And we want to turn your volume down just a wee bit. There we go. Alright, so let me see, which one are you taking apart here? So he's basically should be taking any of the doors that we don't own, and then things like the air vents and stuff will probably be coming out as well. So we'll let him do that. We're going to come over here to this Bob, and we're going to tell this Bob to start building. There you go. So what I've done, let me show you what we've got going on here while Bob's working, is I've gone ahead and brought over a bunch of resources. These we actually found, what was it called? One of the NPC ships, I think, may have bugged out. I'm not sure what happened, but basically it crashed. I think it ran out of power and crashed. Oh, speaking of. Let's grab all that out of there. So basically, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna drop all that off. What happened? I've seen it happen once or twice before in other playthroughs where some of the NPC ships just kind of die for some reason. But yeah, so I went and was able to. There was like 2 small reactors and a couple of empty cargo containers were basically all that was left. So we went ahead and picked up all the miscellaneous stuff, threw it in there. All right. So Bob should be bringing these online, which will be awesome. Once Bob's done with these, we'll relocate him so he can build some of the other stuff. I don't think he's building any of the modules yet. Okay, so we do need to find cobalt because we need to make a bunch of parts. And in order to make some of those parts, specifically I think it's the motors, we need cobalt for, and we have not found cobalt yet. And that's a bad thing. Let me make sure here. Like I said, I think it's the motors. No, motors are iron and nickel. What do we need? It's the metal grids. Okay. So yeah, unless we find metal grids, this is going to be a very short trip. Alright, so while you are doing that, come here. I'm going to grab some parts from you. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start working a little bit on a small atmospheric craft. Something that we can eventually retrofit to be a mining ship. Not. Okay, you are attached. That's good. Okay. We want a large cargo on this. Let's see, that's small, small, large. So if we do that, I need interior plates for those. Son of a... Alright, come here, you. I know I need those for something, but we'll worry about it later. Alright. Okay, so doing large on either side and bottom. Front, top, and back are small. Now we're doing that because we want to have this set up with a connector. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in there now. Yes. Yes, that looks right. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we are going to do drill. We're going to do tier 2s. Because I can actually make these once we get some cobalt. One drill there. One drill there. Whoa. Oh, that was close. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to play around with some new thrusters. We're going to play with these, actually. Because we can. Now, I don't know what the radius on these are for their damage markers. So we're not going to worry. Are you serious? Come back here, you son of a... You are supposed to not be doing that. Goofball. Where are you at? You know what? Screw it. We're just going to have you not do that. He took all of them. See, Bob is getting persnippety in his old age. All right. You better not be grinding stuff. All right. Okay, so that should give us enough thrust that we can get things going. We do need to have a couple of reverse thrust as well. I'm not sure how I want to do this. It'd be awesome if I could get that like that on either side, because then I could put the cockpit in front of it, or even there, maybe? I mean, I guess we could technically do that. So if we do this instead, let's do that instead. So that gives us 3 reverse, 2 lift, 2 push. So the idea is that if we need to, we can actually vector thrust this thing so that we can get our movement however we need it. Since this is atmospheric, we should hopefully never need these, but we're going to put a couple on it just in case, because, well, if you've ever seen any of my builds, You know that this is something that we end up using as from time to time. Actually, you know what we could do? Do that. You come out of there. And... okay. That should keep us from drifting too much. I hope. This also gives us a spot to hide some gyros in here. Which is actually going to be somewhat important for us. But the other thing that we can do is we can hide an antenna. And we can hide the ore detector. And so this way it'll all be actually not so much in our right in our face kind of thing. So it gives us a pretty good mix actually. Now comes the fun part. What reactor are we using? Oh, see, I could use hydrogen. We've actually got plenty of ice. What do we need for these? Just need reactor components. Metal grids, obviously. Anything in here? Gravity generators. Hydrogen reactor. All right. I'll just use a small ship, large reactor. Now the question is are we going to be able to build this entire thing? I'm not sure. We're going to try. There you go. What would that look like on the front? Well, that would actually be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Alright, we're going to do it. Just because I don't ever use these things. So we have ascent, descent, forward, reverse, lateral, gyros. I think we have everything we need. The only thing we don't have on here right now is a landing gear. And I'm not sure where I would put one in this particular case. Alright, so let's see what we have for landing gear. We have the retractables. We could put the maglock in. Let's see what you look like. So if we did that, we'd have to mount it. You'd have to have that and that. That could work. We'll see how that works. Okay. let's go see how Bob is doing. Looks like Bob has welded up everything he could over here. Let's go ahead and move this thing around a little bit. Put him to work with some of this other stuff. Alright. So while you're doing that, you are saying tubes. Okay, you are full. You are complete. And you look like you are next up. Alright, so Bob's taking care of that. Okay. Alright, so I think what we'll do then is let's do a real quick cut. We'll let Bob finish up what he's building. We'll bring him over here to finish this stuff up. And then we will bring you back. Okay? So we'll be right back. And we're back. So, let me show you a little warning about Bob. Because of the fact that I didn't control everything, I couldn't convert all the ownership to the everything to me. So, yeah, Bob went a little crazy. Started taking things apart that he wasn't supposed to take apart. So, yeah, if you use Bob, be sure to configure him appropriately. This is rather irritating because of the fact that this thing's going to have ammo in it, I think. Yep, lots of ammo. So, yeah, basically Bob has been taking all of our
inventory full.
Our conveyor system apart. Anything that has ownership but no control. So, you know, things like lights and that kind of stuff, where you can have somebody own it, but you can convert, basically you can convert the ownership over really quickly. So what he did is basically was working his way through the system. So we have basically no conveyors, and for some reason he focused on the conveyors before he focused on everything else. I swear sometimes Bob is just a little too hyper. So we're gonna have to clean all this up, and I'll do that off camera. I'll finish cleaning the rest of this up, but I just wanted to show you. You need to be paying attention to Bob. If you let him go completely random, he will destroy things that you've been trying to capture. So, anyway. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab this stuff out of here. We're going to throw all of this. Okay, I guess we won't throw all that. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw all of that in there. Do I have any more? No. Okay. Now, what we do want to do is we're going to transfer basically all this stuff over here so it's all in one container. Makes it a little easier to see what we have and what we need. Now, the funny thing is that I was going to need to break some of this stuff down anyway. It was just, I didn't want to do it yet. So what we're going to end up doing is basically taking all this apart and rebuilding it. But I need to
Inventory full.
Get in there, see what we've got. Hopefully get the rest of this converted over. The problem is that because these are not connected to anything, if I get too far away, the cleanup, the server cleanup will actually kick in and it'll despawn them. and I don't want to lose all of these parts. So yeah, we have to clean up the stuff that's on the ground, make sure we have everything that's
Inventory full.
disconnected. Because if we don't, we lose everything. Alright. We'll do this.
Low.
Okay, so it looks like this side is still okay. Okay, so that's still... There's just no connections between here and there. So what I'll probably do is we'll have to run... That's the exit. So we'll have to run stuff up here. Yeah. So we'll end up having to run it up through here. And then over this way. Through all of this. Not quite sure what did that damage, but... And then over to here. Okay. So we're going to drop all of that off. I want to make sure I don't have any uranium floating around in here. I don't. Okay, that's good. Yeah. But the problem is that Bob took a whole lot of stuff from us. So... Oh. Silly Bob. Alright. So we're going to head down. Back. We have to basically get down to our little lander there. And I went the wrong way. Alright. Did I go the wrong way? What's that? This way. Ow. Alright. That's the exit. That works. Bob's got weird priorities on what he takes apart. So let's get in here really quick. Oh, hello. Let's get ourselves recharged. We want to go into the O2 system. Drop that tank off for a second. There we go. Alright, let's get ourselves up here. Can we... Guess not. Okay. So we want this. We're going to have that switch lock unlock. Now, I did not put a rocket launcher on this system. Okay. Awesome. So now we can take this out, reclaim a few parts. Want to see what our power consumption looks like. So we got 2 hours using this thing like this. All right. That works for me. Okay, so... Oh. Alright, so we... Oh, hello. So what we need to do is we need to find a way to be able to see. We need to find some cobalt. But we have the beginnings of what we need. Alright. Supply transport. And so basically what I am going to be doing now is flying around in circles until we find... enough, until we find some cobalt. That's what we're looking for. Once we find some cobalt, silver, gold, ice. It's actually nice to know. Silver and gold here. Let's bring this down. And basically what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to do the rest of this off camera, but I'm basically just going to go ahead and go look for some cobalt. But I want to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit those like buttons. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in below. And like I said, let me know what you think about using the base as a ship. You know, maybe even just taking it up and using it as the space station, or breaking it apart into sections and reconfiguring it into an actual ship, and we'll just use that whole thing. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Hope you have a terrific week, and we will see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. Hopefully, next time Bob will be better behaved. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Oh, what are we going to call this one? We're going to call this one Earth, I think, 01. What did we say this was? Gold and something? I don't remember.